ATG Outdoors. Well, I'm here in northern Kentucky, and I guess it's like September 18th, something like that. Well, I just got off. I was watching TV. Today's Sunday. I'm going to go hunting this evening, and I watched this. I'm sure everybody's heard him, the Rance Ferry. He's got this guy on there called the Rocket Man, and obviously he's an engineer. Well, so's my son, and I kind of rebound a lot of stuff off of him. Not that my son has the. I'm not saying if that guy's any smarter, because what makes somebody smarter? What they think they are, to a point? Just like with hunting, with this bow hunting. And what makes one bow hunter basically better than the other? I mean, I know with practice and everything else, yeah, you do become more efficient. And that's what I look at. I mean, what makes you efficient is practice. And I start seeing this stuff about hunting. They start talking about arrows and everything else and what makes them efficient, what makes them more stable, all this stuff. And here's this guy, this Rocket Man, and they're talking about broadheads. This is where it comes in. Broadheads in the arrow. And he's saying you just can't screw. No, you can't. I mean, a target tip and a broadhead, there's a lot of drag on a broadhead. But he's also talking, there's not much drag on a broadhead out to about 30 yards. And he said, oh, no, not to about 30 yards. Really, he broke it down, and it was so minute, it was like splitting a hair. So this is what if somebody was to ask me, what's the most efficient thing with bow hunting? And it's real simple. I mean, this HUNTR, HUNTR, these two guys that do these podcasts, I'd love to get on with them. A lot of them. I mean, what they talk about is really a bunch of bullshit. What happened with bow hunting and a lot of things, we stretched it out so far. And what I mean, we're talking about shooting things far, where it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be, bow hunting is supposed to be the way it was with the whole thing about a bow. It's close. That the whole thing, to me, what makes a real good hunter is a guy that can shoot his quarry like 30 yards. You start talking 40 yards, that's a poke with an arrow. But anymore, really, it isn't. These guys, I mean, I have friends that'll say, oh, I'll take a 50-yard shot. A 50? I mean, there's times, I know guys that hunt with a shotgun, and 50 yards is, but anymore, I guess that ain't no big deal either. The way the shot and everything else and the chokes come into play. But I'm getting back to bow hunting. Really, if you really want the most efficient thing, here's what I could tell somebody. If you're new into hunting, getting into hunting, two things. Real simple. You want to kill deer on a consistent basis, two things. Super sharp broadheads and shoot close. Real simple. Super sharp broadheads and shoot close. Your arrows will not, as long as you got everything tuned. I mean, tune your arrows, tune your broadheads. That's the thing. Tune your arrows, make sure like I shoot these 1.5 inch, I shoot deep power broadheads. I only shoot the 1.1 inch. I've tried to shoot the 1.5 inch, and they're too wide. The way my arrows are cut pretty close to my drop away rest, and I think the window of my bow is affecting, they kind of touch a little. And I get like a little whip out of them, and they don't shoot that good. But my 1.1 inch do. My smaller broadheads, I don't care what I shoot. As long as they're a small 1.1 inch, 1.16 inch, a 1 inch. I shoot rockets. I like them, the steelheads, small broadhead. And I have no problem shooting out to about 30 yards. If you shoot them freaking broadheads any further than that, I don't care what you shoot. That's when really things come into play. But realistically, to me, if you're hunting with me, please Don't tell me you took a 50 or 60. These guys are talking 60 yards like it's no big deal. And I understand with elk hunting and stuff like that, that's a horse of a different color. I'm not an elk hunter. I'm a white-tailed deer hunter. And so but I could talk about white-tailed deer. Shoot sharp broadheads and shoot them close. And you will, on a consistent basis, you will find your deer. So just do that. Don't listen to these crackerheads that you're seeing on these videos where you see them shooting 50, 60, or 70 yards, 100 yards. Some of these guys, it's incredible how far they shoot. Even practice. The only problem when you practice real far, you can convince yourself to shoot real far. So practice close. Practice. Get your, like a 30 yard in. That's fine. 30 yards is a poke in the woods. 30 yards and in. Even closer, I like 20 yards and in. Because realistically, no matter what that deer does, he's a dead deer. If he flinches 20 yards and in, 15 yards, he's a dead deer. So with that, sharp broadheads and shoot them close, you will find your deer and practice. ATG Outdoors, keep them close.